Hello and welcome back to another video, and today it is my National League predictions for the 2018-19 season. This is a well requested video, so I'm going to do it for you guys. Let's try and smash 50 likes on the video if you are excited for my predictions and excited for the season. Subscribe if you are new, be much appreciated, and let's get straight into the predictions. But before I start, I have to make a quick disclaimer. Don't get too offended if I put your team lower than what you expect. This league has so many good teams in it, and it's really hard to predict. I was going into the top 10, and I realised how I am gonna let some of you guys down. So I'm sorry if I do put your team lower than expected. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. But 24th in the division, unfortunately for me, it's going to be Braintree. I just think they came up last season and they haven't really replaced some of those players who probably still are National League South quality. People may say that, look at what Maidenhead and what Ebbsfleet done last season coming up from the National League South. But personally, I think that Maidenhead really did smash the league and they've got a much better side on them. And I just don't think it's going to work for Braintree this season. In 23rd, we're going to have Gateshead. I think they've gone back part-time, and with those financial troubles we see most times, if you've got financial troubles, it really does affect your season. Like when we saw Dagenham and Redbridge last season, and Hartlepool, Leighton Orient, it does affect your season. And I think they've lost quite a lot of quality, but they have still got their existing managers, so if they could gel their squad together, it could be higher, but I don't think that's going to happen, and I think Gateshead will get relegated. And the third relegation spot is Solihull Moors. I think they've been scraping in those relegation fights for a few seasons now, and I think this will be the season that they do go down. They did lose Mark Yates, who went to Macclesfield, which I think was a huge blow. He kept them up last season, amazingly, but I don't think they'll have enough this season. They have got an assistant manager. They've brought in a few signings, but I don't think it'll be enough to keep Solihull Moors in the National League. Last relegation spot is Havant and Waterlooville, recently promoted from the National League South, won the league on the final day, beating Dartford to it. But I think they are just going to get relegated. They've brought in some good signings, Nicky Kabamba, Alfie Pavey, but I don't think he'll be able to make that step up this season, unfortunately for Havant. And I think maybe this season will be one step too far. 20th, we have Barrow just staying up. Pretty much what they did last season as well, but I just think they have enough quality and a bit of money to, if they need to in January or whenever they need to, bring in some players. They've got a manager of Ian Egan, I think that's his name, coming from Chesterfield. Not too experienced, which could hurt them. But Barrow, I think they'll have another relegation fight on their hands. 19th, we've got Maidenhead. I think Maidenhead have made some good signings. I do rate some of those signings. I don't think people may say it's second season syndrome. Maidenhead are a good side. They don't play the most attractive side of football, but they'll get the job done. They'll stay up. I think these positions are going to be so tight in terms of points. So I think Maidenhead will stay up. The top goal scorer of Pritchard, and I think that may affect him where those goals are going to come from. They've also lost their big striker as well, so I think scoring goals will be a problem, but I think that they will be able to just stay up because they've got that. Their manager is experienced, and they will keep Maidenhead in the division. 18th is newly promoted Harrogate Town. I think they'll stay up. They made some good signings, especially Jack Muldoon from Fylde. I'm surprised he did go to Harrogate. So I think Harrogate have done some good business. Got promoted last season, and to stay up I think would be a good season for them. 18th, and then 17th we've got Dagenham and Redbridge. Again, another team with financial troubles. Without that, I think you're thinking Dagenham and Redbridge in those playoffs, but they've got two managers in. They've lost so many good players, dependent on how those financial troubles go down. If they continue, then relegation could be on the cards. If they start to be sorted out, then Dagenham could start rising up the league. In 16th place, we have Maidstone, Ebbsfleet's rivals. Another decent season from them. I don't think Maidstone fans can expect a playoff finish. Mid-table finish is going to be expected, especially last season as it started to tail off. The signings have been okay, so it'll be interesting to see how those go down. But I think Maidstone won't have a really exciting season. A mid-table finish. 15th place, we've got Halifax. I think Jamie Fullerton, will have a full season with the Shamed, and I think he'll get a mid-table finish, which I think will be a solid position for Halifax. They have lost a lot of their squad after the manager left in February, and they've gone to Alfreton. Some of the players they've brought in have been decent, so I think another mid-table finish for Halifax. 14th place, we have Eastleigh. Another team with a lot of money. People expect them to be lower. It's hard to predict Eastleigh. They're kind of that a wild card. You don't know where they're going to finish, but I think it'll be a mid-table finish for Eastleigh. They've brought in some okay players. Hesson Tyler's got his first full season at the club, and they did have that kind of uncertainty of the owner going to Sunderland, but I don't know if it will work this season. I don't rate too many of those signings. They've got some players on some big wages. I think a mid-table finish for Eastleigh. And in 13th, we've got Dover. Certainly, Dover, I think they could easily go higher, but I just don't think it's going to be a good season for Dover. I think maybe it'll start to go stale with Kinnear at Dover. They've had a couple of seasons of just missing out on the playoffs, and they missed out on it last season on the final day. And I think they'll get close, but I think they'll start to tail off at the end of the season. Is for Bromley. Again, another side that have made some good signings, but I don't think that they'll be able to compete with some of the bigger sides in the league. Eastleigh, Bromley or Dover could sneak into those playoffs, but I just don't think it will happen this year for them. Then go to 11th place, which I think will be Hartlepool. To be fair, they've made some decent signings with the money, with the new owner, but I don't think this will be the season for Hartlepool. The manager is not too experienced, and again, this is how hard the league is to predict, and I just don't think it'll work this season for Hartlepool. Again, I think there'll be a team that will nearly get those playoffs, but just fall away near the end. And then in 10th, we've got Fylde. Fylde, I think, easily, and another one of these. This is why the league is so hard to predict. So many of these teams, you can just put in the playoffs, like Hartlepool, Fylde, Bromley, Dover. You know, they could all be in the playoffs, but Fylde, I think, will just miss out this season. I think maybe Danny Rowe will have his head turned by League One and League Two clubs, because he is getting older and he is so important. But I don't think Danny Rowe will get the goals this season, and that was so important for Fylde in getting them up the leagues. And especially last season, they kind of didn't play too great against smaller teams, but played amazingly against big teams, and I think that may be their downfall again. 9th place, which is Boreham Wood, another team that could be in the playoffs. Boreham Wood have made some good signings, but I think they'll miss out on the playoffs again. I think the problem for Boreham Wood is, I don't know. I think they could easily get in the playoffs. They made some good signings, and I think it's so hard to predict. But Boreham Wood, I think, will get 9th. Good side, but I think they'll just miss out this season due to the strength of the teams in those playoffs. 8th position, I've got Aldershot. Aldershot have done really well to replace their players, but I don't think that the players they've brought in are of the same quality that were there before. And again, I think Gary Waddock has been there for a time now. I just don't think this is going to work this season for Aldershot. But again, this is another one of those teams that could easily go on and do fantastic things, because it is basically a whole new squad. Are they going to gel? I'm not too sure at the moment. It's a bit of a shock. Salford City. They've gone out and pretty much blitzed the league. They've brought in players on 5k wages, 3.5k wages. Many people say they are going to win the league, but for me, I don't think it is going to happen. Salford got a new manager. They've got a load of new players. I don't think it'll work this season for them. I think a lot of those new players, some of those players are there simply for the money, which I don't think is a good position to be in. FC did that a couple of seasons ago with Jamie Day, and the players are just not good quality. So I think some of those players are just there for the money. Are they really going to try their best to get Salford to the Football League, even though they've already been there? So that's going to be a debate. And I don't think those players will immediately gel. They've got a new manager in, so I think it'll be a slow start for Salford, but they will get going. Place, we've got Wrexham. Wrexham, of course, have been in the league for a really, really long time now, 16 years. Brought in a new manager, who I think will have a good season with Wrexham. Again, it will go down to those players. I don't think they will win the league. They've made a few good signings, but I think they need a bit more to that squad, and I think Wrexham will get in the playoff. Maybe the inexperience of their new manager may not help them. 5th position, we've got Sutton. Sutton, again, are going to get in those playoffs. Good manager. But I think that unless this whole 3G pitch thing is sorted, I just don't think they'll go up. It's just something in the back of the manager's mind. It's Paul Doswell, the club's mind. If that is not sorted, they do not want to go through that. It's going to really hurt the club if they go up and have to get a grass pitch. Because if they come back down again, then financially they're in real trouble. Position, we've got my team, Epsom United. It may sound biased, but in Epsom it's so high. But I think we'll have a good season. I think 4th position will be another good season for us. I think the players will gel. I think we'll have a good season. And we need a striker. Hopefully we can get a striker whilst, if you're watching this, we do bring in a striker, because that really would help us. But these players know each other. Darren McMahon knows the system. He knows the players so well. He's worked with them before. It's a good group, and I think that we'll be able to get in the playoffs, and who knows what could happen after that. Position, I've got Leyton Orient. Again, Justin Edinburgh, he said he wants to get Orient in the playoffs, and I think he will. Leyton Orient had a poor season last year, but after Justin Edinburgh came in, there was a bit more optimism around the club, and I think Leyton Orient will finish 3rd, and I think they've got some good players. They've brought in a few decent players. I think the existing players that are already there are already good quality anyway, so if they can get a bit of a run together, then they easily could finish in the playoffs. And then in 2nd position, it's going to be the Spirits of Chesterfield. I think first season back down in non-league, Martin Allen is so experienced at this level. He's brought in a lot of good players like Charlie Carter, Will Evans, a lot of good quality players in there. But I don't think it'll be enough to win the league. I think maybe they can win the playoffs. But I think easily, like we saw with Hartlepool and Leyton Orient, after going down, they could struggle a little bit. But Martin Allen has got real experience with clubs at this level. So I think Martin Allen will push Chesterfield back up near the top of National League. And then the top of the National League, I am going to go with the Bees of Barnet. I think they will win the National League. Why have I said Barnet will win the league? I think John Still is going to get it right this season. I think Barnet can have a bit of luck. They've got some good players, and I think John Still is so experienced at this level. He knows what he's doing, and I think he's going to get it right this season. He's so experienced. He's brought in a lot of good players. He's brought players up from the lower divisions, like one player from Greenwich Borough who scored like 37 goals, bringing players up. And I think John Stewart is so experienced at the level. I think he will get it right for Barnet, and they will win the National League. Let me know your prediction. Do you disagree with me on any of them? Who is going to win the league? Who is going to get playoffs? Who is going to get relegated? And have I had any shockers on my predictions? Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. But remember, the National League is so hard to predict. It's really hard. I did this last season, they were completely wrong, so they'll probably be completely wrong again. And a lot of teams, not like in the Premier League, you can just completely blitz your squad like in January. So feel free to disagree with me, but it's very hard to predict the league, so just a bit of disclaimer thing. So leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Let's try and smash 50 likes on the video. Subscribe if you're new. I'm doing loads of non-league content on my channel, so please subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all later.